What human skills will still be valuable when AI can write reports, create software, make movies, and do way more than we can imagine today? You might think the key skill of the future will be prompt engineering, but from hundreds of CEOs and business leaders that I've spoken to personally, as well as followed closely, as well as the work that I do, I'm seeing 6 skills emerge as essential for the next decade. I guarantee this video will make you think differently about your career. By the way, I'm Dino. My company helps enterprises with AI and other emerging technologies, tens of millions of dollars, helping several hundred brands. Let's dive in. The first skill is relentless curiosity. Most prompts are questions, but even when the AI gives you great answers, you have to push on those answers because the AI might be wrong. Jensen Huang, the CEO of the most valuable company of current times, NVIDIA, explains this beautifully.
In order to ask good questions, it's a highly cognitive skill. And as a CEO, I spend most of my time asking questions. And 90% of my instructions are actually, conflated with questions. When you receive an answer from an AI, I wouldn't just receive it. Usually what I do is I say, are you sure this is the best answer you can provide? I take the answer from one AI, I give it to the other AI, I ask them to critique itself. This is no different than getting 3 opinions. 3 doctors' opinions. I do the same thing. I ask the same question of multiple AIs, and I ask them to compare each other's notes and then, give me the best of all the answers.
So relentless curiosity is about strengthening your critical thinking skills. It's about sharpening your ability to ask questions, criticize the answers, and evaluate criticisms from other AIs to get the best possible answer. But relentless curiosity is not the most important skill that I'm seeing emerge in the world of work. The most important skill is breaking the rules. Let me explain. The world is made up of rules and social norms. They're designed to help everybody work together smoothly. But sometimes you need to break the rules. You need to have the expertise and the critical thinking skills to know when it's appropriate to do so. And quite frankly, AI systems are not designed to break the rules. AI systems are designed to follow instructions. So for situations where you really need to think outside the box, push the boundaries, and break the rules, you really need a human. Nothing paints this picture for me more clearly than a story that Stacey Popham, the VP of R&D at Conagra, told me. She has this belief
that you can overcome anything. So just a couple weeks ago, I had a trip. So I'm sitting in O'Hare. I have a connecting flight through Newark. We're gonna get to Barcelona. So I get on the plane and I'm looking at all the flights and I see that we're landing in a completely different terminal, Terminal C in Newark. And the flight to Barcelona is taking off in Terminal B. So I instantly go to okay, what needs to be true? Well, the first thing that needs to be true, Dino, is I need to land in the gate right next to the plane taking off. I mean, this is, really obvious, right? It's not like everyone's saying we're not gonna make it. I'm like, no. This is what needs to be true. So I am determined. I walk onto the plane, the flight attendant's ready to show me to my seat, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I just need to grab the pilot. So she was a little caught off guard, but I was quick enough. I was quick enough that I reached around her and tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around and I just explained the situation. I said, listen, sir, I understand we're landing in gate C84, but I have a little bit of a situation because I'm flying to Barcelona. I should have told you. I asked how many people were flying to Barcelona. I found 12 of us.
Right.
I said, there's 12 people on this plane flying to Barcelona, and the plane that goes to Barcelona is in Terminal B. I said, I need you to get us to land in the gate in Terminal B. He looked at me for a minute, a little confused, I think, like why, would I ask him and why would I think that he would do this? And then he said, yeah, I'm the pilot. I can ask to have us land in Terminal B. So I went to my seat, we took off, and about 20 minutes in, the flight attendant came over to me and said, oh ma'am, the pilot wanted to let you know that we're gonna be landing right next to the gate for Barcelona.
Stacey convinced a pilot to change where the plane landed. And that's just not something AI can do. As I discussed in my video explaining generative AI is really just really smart autocomplete. It follows patterns, rules, and norms. But great things happen when rules are broken. And that's where you come in. You need the critical thinking skills as well as the ability to think for yourself and act with purpose, to know when to redraw the map and take a new path. AI can follow the map, but only you can decide when it needs to be redrawn.
Get ready to be uncomfortable. I think that's where you get your drive from. If you're okay with it, you see a problem and that you can, overcome. I think that's the greatest learning experience. And put yourself in places that would initially make you uncomfortable and try and get yourself out of it. How to learn from it.
That's Dan Logan, CEO of NA Logan. And he's right, the world is changing fast, especially with AI. Every week, there's a new tool, a new headline, a new skill you're supposed to master. It's overwhelming, but here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you're not a little uncomfortable, you're not growing. AI is reshaping how we work, learn, and make decisions. And that means the old way of doing things just won't work for much longer. The way you write emails is changing. The way you do research, changing. The way you manage a team, changing. The way you create, sell, and build, all of it is evolving. If you stick with what's familiar, you'll fall behind. So discomfort is actually a sign that you're ahead of the curve. If you want specific tips or tools on what you might need to get a little uncomfortable for your profession or industry, drop me a comment or message me and I'll share a few ideas. And when you're getting uncomfortable, you're gonna find managing AI is like managing a team. And just as with a team, with AI, you have to set quality standards and push the AI to give you that high quality output. Legendary PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi describes it as being passionate about quality.
When you're really passionate about something, don't sit here going, God, I don't want to send them back 3 times. It's okay to send them back 3 times. Get it to a point where you're really comfortable. This is going to be good for the company. Show your passion, push people back. So I got to a point when design as a discipline was set up in PepsiCo. When they'd bring me something I didn't like, I'd say, hate it. Absolutely hate it. And then I would tell a joke about it and say, this is what the customer is going to say when they see it.
Just like Jensen Huang said not to take the AI's first response to a question, but to interrogate the AI. When you're using AI to create work products, don't take its output as final. Treat it as a draft. So if you want the AI to write a proposal, tell it what you want. If you want it to be punchier, ask for it to be punchier. More structured, more examples. Keep pushing until it feels right. Because AI can't replace your judgment. You have to use your own judgment for your situation and for what you need. If you want a playbook for getting AI to do high quality work for your most tiresome tasks, check out the summary of my book, Do More With Less, at domorewithless.now, where I lay it all out in detail. But there are some skills AI simply cannot replace. The main one being human connection, as Bill Gates describes it.
There'll be aspects of appreciating people, social work, the teacher really engaging that student in the rich way. Even then, I can't guarantee that software won't eventually get good at that. But, for the next generation, the more human, the more engaged you are with other people, that is a skill set that's in such short supply, whether it's mental health, education, that we can never have enough of that.
As AI takes over more of the doing, human success will depend on the connecting. Bill Gates points out that human engagement in roles like teaching and therapy is in well short supply. But he misses one of the most crucial forms of human connection in business. If AI is going to take over the bulk of the creation of knowledge work, career success is really going to come down to what Danny Frisco, CEO of Rapido, calls a sales mindset.
I always say that having a
a sales mindset is really important, and I don't think I had realized that early on. I remember going into my first sales role and thinking like, I don't really want to do sales. It's not, you know, it didn't appeal to me. And now that I'm older, I just feel like everything is kind of sales. The way you sell your company, the way you sell to your employees your vision, the way you sell to potential investors in the future. I don't think you can discount the fact that you know, great CEOs are probably the best salesmen as well, salesmen and women.
As Danny Frisco says, everything is sales. In a world of AI tools, the human edge will belong to those who can make others care, build relationships, and move ideas forward. In short, AI may generate the words, but you still have to make them matter. Hit subscribe if you want more no-fluff advice on staying relevant in the age of AI. And let's connect on LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We started with a question: what human skills will still matter when AI can do almost everything? Now you've seen the answer. You need to ask better questions, break the rules, get uncomfortable, demand quality, connect deeply, and sell what matters. This video gave you a blueprint for thriving in the next 10 years. The world is changing fast, but the people who adopt and master these skills will be able to change as fast as the world changes and as fast as jobs change.